Hi, I'm Ken Roberts from Absolute Precision Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. And today we're in Saugus, and the job that we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking out this older 80% efficient gas-fired Burnham boiler. It's a great boiler. Been chugging along for probably the last 30 years, and I have no doubts that it probably would go another 10, 15 years. It's a great boiler. It's all we've ever used. Burnham's a great product. So what we're going to be doing is he's got 5 zones of heat right now. And as you can see, he's got 2 conventional gas-fired water heaters. These are going to be coming out. So over here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to build an 8-foot wall all the way down to here. We're going to hang the boiler here, have his 5 zones of heat. The 6th zone will be the indirect fired water heater. And we'll have a stainless steel 64-gallon indirect fired Superstor. And the venting will be going out there. So right now what he's got is these 2 conventional gas-fired water heaters. Planned obsolescence is what we say, because every 6 or 7 years they're going to spring a leak, flood the basement. He's going to have an indirect fired water heater which will have a lifetime warranty, and he'll never have to touch it again. That boiler there, like I said, it's a great boiler. You know, it's given up its, done a good job for the homeowner, but it's 80% efficient. The new Alpine is going to be 95% efficient. So he's going to be moving up, quite a bit of efficiency, saving some money. In addition to that, he's going to be getting some 0% financing from MassSave. He'll be getting some rebate money back from MassSave. He'll be getting another $400 back on the indirect fired water heater. So there's some pretty good incentives. So we're going to take this and move it all downstream over there, and take what's probably 75% efficient and move them up to 95% efficient. So stay tuned. We're going to get started here building up the wall, and then we'll check back and see how things are progressing. Hi, okay, so we're back now, and as you can see, we've got the wall all framed up here. We've got the boiler hung. HVAC technician Neil here underneath the boiler is just putting the finishing touches on the bracket to support the boiler. So we're going to get started piping here, and in a few minutes we'll get back to you, and you can see how the progress is going with the 5 zone with the indirect fired Superstor, and the 5 zones on the Alpine 95% efficient boiler. So stay tuned. Okay, so here we are a couple hours into the job, and Brad and Neil have been getting quite a bit done. As you can see, they already got the 5 heating zone pumps up. They're getting ready to set up the Superstor. It's just temporarily sitting here. They're not ready to tie that in yet. Brad's working on the expansion tank. So as you can see, they've already got the exhaust, the venting done for the exhaust and the intake. The way that this works is it takes fresh air from outside in, combustion process sent back out, and that way there you're not taking heat that you've already spent the money to heat and sending that up the chimney, which is the way the old boiler worked. You'd have a house being heated up, and every time the boiler came on for combustion, it would suck it up the chimney, so losing quite a bit of money that way. So that's part of the way that this boiler gets its efficiency. Another way is it works off of an outside sensor, which is an outdoors reset. So if it's a day that's maybe 50, 60 degrees, to get to 70, the boiler might only run at 110 degrees, instead of the old boiler constantly running at 180, dropping down to 140, coming back up to 180, down to 140. Very inefficient. So this boiler here, when it's on, you won't even notice the sound. You won't even hear it. Quiet, great operation. So Brad here's working on the expansion tank, and what that does is the expansion tank takes the expansion and contraction of the system. When water gets heated, it expands. If you didn't have that expansion tank, which is basically just a tank with a rubber bladder, and it pushes and contracts against it, if you didn't have that, something would push apart and they'd have a flood. So as you can see, they're getting quite a bit done here pretty quickly, so stay tuned and you'll see the rest of it as pretty much completed. Hi, Ken Roberts from Absolute Precision Plumbing, Heating and Cooling here, and we're back on the completion aspect of this job in Saugus that we had spoke to you about earlier. So as you can see, the 95% efficient Alpine system here is completely installed. The venting and the exhaust pipe is up. Low water cutoff. Primary circulator pump to the boiler here is on. We've got our 5 zones of heat and our 1 zone of domestic hot water. Everything, as you can see, is nicely gated off so that we can isolate 1 zone or several zones if we need to. Got our multi-zone control panel here. That's what runs the show when you turn the thermostat on. That tells this to tell the pump to come on. Got our 60-gallon Superstor here. So at this point, the system is completely done, and it's going to be 95% efficient. The way that this system works is, this is an outside sensor, and there's one of these outside the house, mounted on the north side, the dark side of the house. And what it does is it feeds back the exterior temperature to the boiler. And it tells the main brain in here, basically, like on a day that it's, say, 50 degrees outside, it tells the boiler it's 50 degrees, and the main brain that's inside here, the computer, will essentially say, you know what, I don't have to run at 180 degrees like the old system. I can probably do the job at 120 degrees today. So that's where you get your efficiency, is the modulation of the temperature of the boiler predicated by the outside temperature. The old system would come on to 180, come down to 140, go up to 180, come down to 140. And that process going back and forth attributed to a lot of unnecessary BTUs heating water unnecessarily. What this will do is when the outside sensor tells it the temperature, it decides based on the heating curve what the temperature of the water going through the baseboard needs to be to get you to 70 degrees in the house and maintain the most efficiency, which attributes to saving dollars on your heating bill. So down here, we've got our condensate pump with the limestone chips, and what that does is the effluent coming out of the boiler through the condensation process is very acidic. So it gets neutralized over here in the limestone tablets, drops into the sump, float switch comes up, tells it to send it over to the drain where it's been neutralized to a point of 7. If it wasn't neutralized and it was acidic, it would rot out the sewer pipe going out to the street, and that would be a very costly repair. So in this particular job, there's a situation where they have an addition built on that doesn't have a formal foundation, and they've had problems in the past with frozen pipes. So we're going to be putting antifreeze in. Now the system can't identify that one zone as being the problem, because the water goes out to that zone, comes back to the boiler, next time it goes to a different zone. So you have to basically antifreeze all the zones. So this particular type of high efficiency equipment requires an antifreeze that's specifically designed for the high efficiency systems. It's made by a company called Fernox. So we're going to be putting that in. It's a little on the pricey side, but frozen pipes, system shut down, crawling around in a crawl space, that gets expensive too. So once we put this in, he'll be good for about 3 years. About 3 years we'll come back, we'll check it with a little litmus paper. That will tell us what the strength is, and if we have to add some to it, we will. If not, he's good to go for another year. So at this point, as you can see, pretty nice looking system compared to what he had before. Definitely more efficient. He's already been saving money since day one, since we put it in. So if you'd like to have a system like this, give us a call at Absolute Precision, and you can reach me directly on my personal cell phone at 978-766-1475. Hope to hear from you. Thank you.